Welcome to another edition of the Gridiron Report. We're previewing the position groups, or at least the sides of the ball, in terms of offense, defense, and special teams. We've already done the offense and defense. Now it's special teams. Texas Tech is kicking off the season in just days now. I can't believe it. I'm very excited about that. And, special teams, the least talked about phase of the game, but, win you or lose you some games, Mighty Joe.
Yeah, no question about it, and one of the aspects of special teams that nobody really talks about because it's really hard to get a handle on is actually the coverage units.
Yeah.
You know that? Because, we know who the kicker and the punter and the returners and the long snapper and all that's going to be, but exactly how the coverage units are going to shake out, that's, to me, going into most football seasons, that's the one thing that you just really can't know. You just kind of assume that they're going to be okay, but you just have no idea.
It doesn't always play out this way, but generally good teams have good coverage units because it's about depth, right? And a lot of the coaches, and Joey McGuire's one of them, they'll play some of their starters on coverage units if need be. But they still got to get that rest somewhere. So, there's a lot more that goes into it than definitely what's talked about because it's not the sexiest thing. But, yeah, coverage units are very important. I think they did a pretty good job last year under Kenny Perry. We'll see how they do this year, but I'm suspecting they're going to be it's going to be fast, a fast group, and it's going to be a pretty good group because of the overall team depth and the fact that it is a good team. But we are going to talk about the specialists, though. Kicker Gino Garcia won the kicking competition this offseason. Burkhart's going to be the kickoff specialist, and that's something he has experience with. Gino Garcia lost the kicking competition to Trey Wolf last year, who lost the kicking competition the year before to Jonathan Garibay. And he had a great season. So just because Gino lost last year and it was supposed to be a pretty close competition, doesn't mean he's not going to do well this year. He has a big leg, Joe. I've seen him make several kicks over 50 yards. He reportedly, according to Joey McGuire, made a 60-yarder in a scrimmage, the last scrimmage. So Gino Garcia definitely has the leg. It's going to be all about consistency and and how he does under pressure. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, and that competition last year was, it was real enough that it actually extended into the early games of the season.
Yeah.
Because he got some experience out there, hit a few PATs. His one field goal attempt was a miss. I think it was 46 yards, I believe it was.
Yeah.
You just kind of trust. We really don't know too much about him, but I suspect he'll probably be up to the job.
Yeah, and then the punter is Austin McNamara, who comes back for his 20th season at Texas Tech. It feels like he's been starting since a freshman. I think he had 1 year where he was pretty inconsistent, but other than that, and then statistically overall, he's still been, I think he averages like 44 yards a punt for his career, something ridiculous like that. Another guy with a big leg, and McGuire likes to say he's the best punter in the country. He's got to be up there. I expect him to probably be at least a semi-finalist for the the Ray Guy, not Ray Guy, the Ray Guy Award. There's so many awards now I can't keep up with all of them, but the best punter award for, this year, because I do think he's one of the best.
Yeah, we'll talk about a guy with a massive leg. He occasionally will just rifle one out of there. Yeah. Didn't he have a record of something 80-plus yard punt at some point?
He did. Yeah, I think it was either his freshman or sophomore year.
Right. And so, I think there is a little bit of inconsistency. Sometimes he'll just hit an average punt instead of a rocket shot. I think his battery, it always looks a little bit kind of long and slow to me. It makes me nervous. Now, I don't know if his block percentage is particularly high, but I sometimes when I know they're coming after him, I get just a little bit nervous. But overall, you talk about a guy who is definitely a known quantity as opposed to Gino Garcia a little bit. Then that's Austin McNamara. We know what we've got with him.
Now, this is kind of a sore subject because Texas Tech fans lament the fact the Red Raiders haven't been great in the return game. They used to be. In the Mike Leach years, you had the Wes Welkers, the Danny Amendolas, who were outstanding punt returners. And we just haven't really seen a whole lot of that in the last 10 or so years. Miles Price is going to be back there as punt returner, one of the shiftiest, quickest guys on the team. There's some other guys in the mix. Xavier White, very smooth player. I like him back there. Jordan Brown might get a chance. He's definitely going to be in on kick return, which we'll get to in a minute. But what do you think about the punt return game?
Well, what you're looking for, the first thing is you're looking for a guy who can make the first guy miss, obviously, and then hopefully he's got enough speed that if he does make that first guy miss, he can then do something with it. You know, maybe not necessarily take it to the house, but at least get it maybe down to the doorstep or something like that. And you know, that sounds like a fairly low bar to set, but it really isn't. I mean, it's hard to find those guys. They're just, you know, it may have something to do with the way the rules are set up. I don't know, but it seems like you just don't see as many really good punt returners as you did back in the old days. They're kind of rare. And it's certainly been the case at Texas Tech. But, I mean, Miles, definitely, like you said, he's got that shiftiness and he's got enough burst. If he makes the first guy miss, he should be able to go for at least 30-plus yards. And, you know, that's basically what you're looking for. And you're looking for a guy who's sure-handed. The last thing on earth you want is a muffed punt. That's a dagger to the heart right there. So, you know, he's a receiver with good hands. You know, he looks like a pretty solid prospect at that position.
Yeah, my bar is even lower than yours, is just field the punt. I mean, how many times have we seen over the last handful of years guys not be able to field the punt and lose field position because of it as the ball just rolls? And some of that's just, you know, a chess match, the way they punt now for the roll, for the shorter and roll kind of punt. But man, decision making's got to be high on my list. You want to gain yards, but you sure as heck don't want to lose field position. Kick returner, like I said, Jordan Brown's in the mix. Xavier White again. Miles Price will still be in the mix. Nehemiah Martinez, I really like him in that position as well. And then maybe Dre McCray. McGuire, he wasn't listed on the depth chart, which I was surprised about. That was probably my biggest surprise of the whole depth chart, all three phases. But McGuire did say Dre will figure in there some too, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him return some kicks.
Yeah, and you know, Brown is the interesting guy to me back there. That's the dude who's got the home run ability. You know, I mean, I'm sure he's not the fastest guy on the team, but he's probably in your top 5, 6, 7, I would think, in terms of just overall flat out speed. And he's got a little bit of electricity to him. You know, you were talking about decision making, and to me, that's even more important on kickoff returns. You see so many guys, you know, where they'll angle that kickoff to the sideline a little bit, and it's kind of bouncing down there around the goal line. And what do you do with it? You know, it seems like guys have the old vapor lock from time to time, and they make the wrong decision and wind up getting tackled at the 5-yard line, or stepping out of bounds, or retreating back into the end zone, and then having to run it out. And you know, they don't know if it's going to go back out, if the ball is going to bounce out of bounds, and they don't make the right decision. And that's you got to be able to think on the fly right there a little bit. And so whoever Tech has back there, you hope they're going to be good at making that sort of a decision.
Yeah, well, overall, a pretty experienced group of specialists for Texas Tech, and I think it's going to be a pretty solid group on special teams. But hey, we'll find out. We'll get some more data here very soon, in just a couple of days, as Texas Tech travels to Laramie, Wyoming to take on the Cowboys. 6:30 Central Time. That game will be televised on CBS. But for now, Mighty Joe, great stuff from you as always. Thank you all for watching, and until next time.